Creativity, creativity in progress. Creativity in progress. Creativity in progress.
Last time on CIP.
Because The Last of Us 2 and everything, I have such a hard on for fathers and daughters. That sounded bad.
Wrong, 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 wrong. Wrong, 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 wrong.
Ghost Hunter mockumentary.
And also, we have to name this spooky town Wushu, Woosh.
We don't. In fact, we don't have to do that.
On with the show. to have it be something like the American Ninja Warrior stuff. Uh, and then maybe there could be like trivia or something like that. It could be like Double Dare. Um, uh,
But they do have the trivia at parts, or kind of the same way that I know Ari's gonna hate this a lot. I can see him getting ready to punch me from 3,000 miles away right now. But if the competition was closer to like, with pageants, they have all kinds of different levels. It's not a pageant. It's not a pageant. But in pageants, they have different types of things where sometimes they do the swimsuit, sometimes they do a question where they ask you. All these different types of things are brought into one, combined into one. Sorry about the banging. I have neighbors that are doing something. I'm not sure. Sorry about that.
Sorry about the banging. My neighbors are
Doing
banging.
something.
But yeah, they're jumping in their bed for joy. I don't know. I don't know. No, we definitely could do the idea of, like you said, there's some parts of the competition are definitely more gritty, and they test your. I guess we could have it that the competition is designed to test you in different ways.
So it's kind of like the Hunger Games, sort of. I don't mean like murder, but there's like an interview portion, and
could be
you
an interview
showcase
portion.
what you're good at.
Yes, but I guess it could be if you they could test your poise or your public speaking in an interview portion. They could test your speed or your agility in a test where like literally like there's spikes dropping down on top of you, who can run the fastest, or it could test your balance, but you have to walk across this beam without falling off. Or there's could fall into this giant lagoon below. And basically, if you don't pass these tests, once you fail them, you're out of the competition. And and these tests can be all kinds of different things. They can range in everything imaginable. There could even be a competition with singing, involving singing, essentially. Anything and everything is on the table because it's meant to be for this big, huge. They're trying to see who is the best person to date this shadow figure. So there are all kinds. This may be what he actually would want his date to be like. He'd want them to be a really good singer. He'd want them to be have the balance of a gymnast. He'd want them to be able to swim a mile. So all these different types of crazy things, and these contestants are willing to do it because supposedly he's, great, whatever else. So yeah.
I get this vision of like because we talked about it being like somebody like Ruby Rod or something like that, and also like I know we were talking date, but I know we had discussed a little bit last time that instead of having it be like a date, have it I like maybe spend the day with kind of thing.
Yeah, let me ask you this: what's the difference between a date and spend the day with?
Well, I think for personally for me, a date indicates if the people are obviously not together yet. It's like a thing to spend the day with somebody who you might romantically be interested in.
So it's a pre-date. The date. They're the same thing.
Well, but what I'm thinking is I'm thinking like maybe have the contest be, do this contest to have a chance to be Ruby Rod's or whoever's best friend. And you get to spend the day with Ruby Rod. So you get to be their best friend for a day. And that way it kind of removes the date piece of it a little bit. I don't know why, because it just I don't know why the date thing doesn't. I don't know. Like I could be wrong. If we want to go with date, that's fine.
Well, here's part of the problem with that is because our main characters, especially our Dam, she believes she's doing this contest. She's competing and doing all these things because she thinks she's going to get the greatest, her dream date, the guy of her dreams, the guy she wants to date and marry, and everything, all this kind of stuff. And the whole point is that along the way she meets the outcast, and she realizes that all the things she thought she wanted in a partner, she actually finds in someone else.
So what about this? The prize isn't a date; it's something much bigger, and I think I floated like the cash money prize before because that's also a really, really, really big incentive for basically everybody. In addition to like spend a day with, or like ask one favor of, and our main character, the damsel, thinks she's like, oh, he's gonna fall in love with me. I'm gonna fall in love with him, and it's gonna be amazing and blah blah blah. And she's got this like fairy tale idea of what's gonna happen. And then
Mhm.
as the story progresses, she realizes that's just not the case.
Mhm.
And O helps her realize this.
Mhm.
That's true. The thing is, though, too, is that this is something that was floated by Nate before. I think maybe Ari agreed with this. Is that if part of her journey is for her to turn down Ruby Rod, we're calling him Ruby Rod, even as a licensed copyrighted character for Fifth Element, whatever. Ruby Rod.
What if we
played
just
by
call
Chris
him
Tucker.
Red?
Call him
Red.
We can call him
Red.
Red.
I like him.
We call him the Red Shadow because he's still supposed to be our shadowy figure. But
Yeah.
the idea was that we'd established, I think Nate said, that if we make it clear that Ruby Red actually is into Damn. Red's like, yeah, Damn, you're actually really cool. I actually like you a lot. I actually do want to be with you. I actually like that a lot. The thing that you wanted most, I want to have with you. And here's the money, of course, the 10 grand or whatnot. But yeah, let's be a couple. Let's make this work. And she then turns him down. That's part of her arc. She has to be. He, of course, has to want her.
That doesn't like negate what I just said, though, because
No, it doesn't. It doesn't negate it. But the point of this story, the point of her arc, I think it can't just be compete in this competition and win money, because it's kind of like, what's the point of having the shadow at all if it's just money? Or be buddies and friends with some random guy. It's like, what's the point in going through all of this to be friends with? I wouldn't think about this in reality. I'm a single guy. I wouldn't compete through all this crap to be buddies with some random stranger. I wouldn't. I actually want to. I wouldn't put her a date.
Well, no, but then it's not the point. It's not the point of being buddies with a random stranger. It's that because if somebody came to you and said, "You here, do this writing contest. You do this writing contest, and then you get to spend a day. It's not a date, but you get to spend a day with what's her nuts, the chick that you have multiple restraining orders against you.
Here you go. But that's it. I would want to date with her. I wouldn't want a buddy chum thing. I want to date with her.
Well, okay, all right.
If somebody said a day, so you wouldn't do the contest if they just said spend the day with versus a date.
I would go
prefer, but
sure. For Logan Browning, yeah. For Logan Browning, of course. I would. But I think what you guys are forgetting is, in reality, we have reality shows for people. Think about The Bachelor, The Bachelorette, all these things. We have all these 90 Day Fiance. All these things are contingent on the idea of love. People are trying to do these things for the opportunity to fall in love with somebody, not to hang around, get some drinks, and play Monopoly.
Like I said, Ethan, it doesn't negate it, because the point of our main character is that she has an unrealistic expectation of what is going to happen. So the prize is possibly money, spend a day with your idol, and then he'll grant you some wish or whatever, something nebulous like that. And she thinks, like you would think, okay, so if I get a chance with Logan Browning,
shots fired.
Maybe we can get to know each other. Maybe there will be sparks. Maybe I can have a romantic relationship. Anything can happen, and she's clinging to that idea.
Yes, I agree. I see what you're saying. I agree with that. That works.
And then her character arc, and like there are going to be a bunch of different people who also have that unrealistic expectation, because this is like a reality show.
That's fair. That works.
And then there are people who are only there for the money or whatever.
Right.
Yeah.
And
that
that's
is why
Outcast is there for the 10 grand, and Dam is really there. Dam doesn't care about the money. She's there for the idea. She's like, and that. So the rules. Okay, so we can establish this too. The actual prize in and of itself is a celebrity. We don't know who it is. We call them Red now. This unknown celebrity that people presumably some reason they like. They think it's somebody that they like. It's part of this prize. Win a day with this celebrity, a whole day. Just whatever you want to do, no limitations. Along with let's make it $100,000 in cash prizes. I mean, $10,000 now won't get you past COVID. So let's make it $100,000 in cash prizes, whatever it might be. $100,000 cash in prizes, and also whatever, it's like a trip around the world or something like that. so that it's actually all these things, and make it clear that the possibility to fall in love is there. Will it happen? Who knows? Let's see if the two of you on your time together, in your day together, can make it work. And we'll call it just a day as opposed to a date, because for some reason I don't know why you two don't like the apparently date is a 4-letter word for you two. That's fine. I'm not gonna fight you on it. I'm not gonna fight you. I'm not gonna fight you.
It's a trope that I'm not really fond of because it doesn't really make sense within the larger scale of the story, especially for O to be there. So there has to be something more. And also, I'm sorry, Ethan, I didn't mean to drag you.
I see what you're saying, and you're right. O wouldn't be there for a date. That's true. But he would be there for the money. And part of the idea with O is O's motives aren't necessarily completely defined. We established last time that O's kind of, he does whatever he wants to do, and he really, that's why when Dan confronts O, she says, is there anything you actually really do care about? He's pretty much like, I do whatever I want just for the sake of the chaos. I am on a D&D board, lawful chaotic. I don't care about anything. That's me. And Dan is very much seemingly closer to lawful good or neutral good or whatever it might be. So, but it does, like, you're right though. Dan would definitely be there for the money at least. At least there's enough on paper of a motive. I'll go there for the money. Because also he quits for seemingly no reason either. Also, or he seemingly allows her to beat him in the contest without too much of an opposition.
And one thing, like, I wanted to kind of explain my reasoning for it is, if for some reason to me, as like thinking of it as someone who potentially could be going to this movie, I recognize I'm not normal. I'm not as what is considered standard in terms of what I view in my entertainment. Those shows like, Bachelor and everything, I can't watch them because just on a base level, I have zero interest in those people in their lives, because to me, they're like, they may actually be like, they're actors. Let's just, they're reality show actors. Let's just get that out of the way. Sure. But by making it not a date, and therefore taking that part out of it, taking that, for lack of a better term, shallowness out of the contest, and actually putting, and it's because it's in my mind, it's not shallow for her to have this unrealistic expectation and be like, I want to meet this person and I want to fall in love with them, and I think that this is an actual thing that could happen. Like that, to me, that's not shallow, but for entering a contest to get the date, and then on top of that, it's like, it just seems, I don't know, it just adds an ickiness to it that I don't like.
No, that's
that being
fine.
said,
I see where you're coming from.
I'm not saying we shouldn't go that way. I'm just saying that's why I'm pushing against going that way. So that's my
it's
right.
It's fine. And you two make some valid points, and I get it. We can definitely just call it a day out. And I like the both of you guys made the argument that it's a date. The idea is it's a day with this person. And if sparks fly, cool. That's a possibility. Otherwise, you are just spending the time. Like for example, I'm a huge fan of Michael B. Jordan. I would love to hang out with him for a day and just admire his abs, and also just ask him how he got into acting, and borrow his hair trimmer, all kinds of, as a cool buddy friend thing that has nothing romantic about it. Maybe some romantic, but not too romantic. But the idea of being with a celebrity that I like or admire would be fun too, as opposed to an actual romantic date with the possibility for romance.
Right.
Yeah, that works as well. The reason my logic was coming from the idea of it being closer or more akin to what we actually do, because remember, this is set in the present, not future, not past, present. And in the present, before everything happened with the world, for 2020, reality shows were still pretty hot. We still had there more and more Bachelor, Bachelorette, and 90 Day Fiance, whatever. I know that you and I, that all of us here don't necessarily like them, but they are very, very popular shows. And it seems likely that kind of a show that combines like Double Dare, like Nate said, with The Bachelor or Bachelorette. I mean, we probably should copyright this episode right now, because that probably could happen. But I'm with you guys. It's an idea. It's an idea. But I'm with you guys. Going the route of having it's just win a day with this person.
And I think what would be interesting is if it's just kept open, right?
Yeah.
So there's no like confirmation of what it is necessarily. Like so that you get as many people applying as possible.
Right.
People who just want the
That's what
money,
they
people
want.
who are like, romance, maybe I can
Right.
make him fall in love with me. And then
Yeah,
from anything. So that's why
Yeah.
there are so many people who apply.
I agree.
And that's what will help fuel our main characters
Yeah.
sort of not to say delusions, but her idea of a parasocial relationship possibly.
Right. Yeah.
And
That's very good. Yeah, I completely agree.
Okay.
I completely agree. Because it
All right.
would be if you were to go the route of date, you'd have to either establish this character is clearly bisexual. The one that's the shadow, Red, is clearly bisexual if he's having both men and women compete, or you'd have to have only one gender compete kind of thing. So it's if you want to have it, keep it more open ended as far as everyone and anyone competing for the sake of the story, then of course it makes more sense. So I'm on board. Well done.
Okay, cool.
Well done, counselors.
Thank you.
Counselors, you've won the case. Speaking of Better Call Saul, you've beaten me. I apparently y'all are Saul and I'm the other guys.
Are we the defense or the prosecution?
Yes.
Yes, we're
Yes.
both.
You're both.
As long as I'm not the defendant, that's all that
That's-
matters.
you don't want to be the defendant.
Right.
Yeah, the person that's
Yeah,
on
no,
trial.
no.
No, that's the worst. But that's actually. So that worked out. That did cover a lot of good things, and we actually do have what the actual objective is. We have what the essentially what I always call the lie. The lie that our character believes in. Dan believes in that if she goes on this outing with this celebrity, her life will be changed for the better in so many ways. And the reality is, what she finds out is that no, that's not what she needs at all. It's something very different, and it is also she needs to, of course, make her own path, do her own thing. The lie that the outcast believes is that nothing in the world is worth. The world is just a lie. The world itself is just a lie. That the world doesn't matter. It's all just meaningless garbage. And of course, he ends up finding Dam, and as he ends up talking to her, he really realizes that no, having goals and objectives and people that mean something to you are cool. They're actually worth having as well. Not just making it about love and falling in love, but just having ambitions and doing things. So yeah, this adds up. This all adds up.
This checks out.
This math checks out. I think so. What we could do too is basically, so we had discussed getting into it was like the semifinals or whatnot in the competition where O throws the match for Dam. We didn't get into at all as to what that match was or how, because it needs to be something that's on some level directly competitive enough between the two. It doesn't have to be a fight scene, but something that's competitive enough between the two of them for Dam to realize that O is throwing it. If it's a big, huge race, she would be able to see him or know or understand what's going on. It has to be something where the two of them can, on some level, at least see each other well enough to know what's going on, or it can still be a smaller group, but there still needs to be some. And also, it's an important moment in the story too, so it can't just be too big.
Yeah, I wonder if so it could go one of two ways. If it's a physical thing, it could be, it could be like something that we know that O's really good at, and she knows that, and it's something that he doesn't do well, or she's able to see in a scene or something that like obviously he's not putting effort into it or whatnot, like a rock climbing wall or something.
Yes.
Or the other thing I thought of is we go so like these are our two options. We could have it be the physical piece, or we could have it be a the trivia, like I said, Double Dare. It could be a thing where like they go to like Golden Girls trivia, and Dam knows that O knows everything about the Golden Girls,
Right.
and they ask a question that she knows that they know dead to rights, and they blow it on purpose, and she's like, "What the fuck?" So that's the possible two ways.
That's my vote. My vote is for.
Ooh, I like that too.
Yeah, my vote is definitely for that. It's for it to be a trivia, like an actual section where they're. I want a little bit Japanese game show style where they're up there and there's like at least 3 competitors or 4 competitors up there, and if you get a question wrong, like you either get ejected or slime falls on top of your head, or I guess that's Double Dare too, but something like that. And so they do. It could be Golden Girls. It could be that it's a trivia game. It's not just Golden Girls, but it's trivia, and the question comes up involving Golden Girls, and we could establish earlier on that Golden Girls is the one show that, or one thing essentially that O does really care about. He knows a lot about it. He pretty much considers everyone. He can put them in categories of the characters from Golden Girls. He may even consider Dam a real what's Dorothy. May call her a real Dorothy. That could be his nickname for the whole story is Dorothy, because he seems so tightly wound or whatnot. And so when the question comes up, and it could be that during the contest, this trivia section, there's like 4 or 5 competitors. It gets down to just the last 2, which is O and Dam, and a question comes up where I guess we had to give her the opportunity. If it comes up where they both get the chance to answer the question, and O misses it, or it's a question where it's the last man standing. So if whatever question you get, you miss it, you're gone.
So what if it's like, it's a speed thing, you kind of like a Jeopardy thing. So whoever buzzes first gets to answer the question. He gets the question. He pauses, looks at her, and then gives a deliberately wrong answer.
I like it.
Right. Yeah.
I like it.
Right, because that would infuriate her. There's no way she wouldn't recognize what happened. Yeah.
Oh, and maybe it could be something like there's a I'm just going to continue with the Golden Girls thing just because that's the track we're on, and I'm me. Yeah. So we could maybe have it be where earlier they during one of the training sequences where you're seeing that they're getting kind of close and everything, and it brings up the topic of that O likes Golden Girls and blah blah blah, and Dam says something like, oh yeah, I love that one episode where such and such happens, and O goes, no, that's not right. That's not what happens in that episode. That you're actually thinking of this episode. This episode, actually, the actor that played Dorothy's father played the waiter. You're thinking of another guy, and they fight about it, and then they actually go and watch the episode, and he proves him right, and that's the question. And when he gets the question,
she could even I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, he gets the question, and he hits the buzzer. And he looks at her and he gives the answer she thought that it was.
Right.
As the wrong one. And for him, it's a I love you, but she takes it as a fuck you.
Right.
And
yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yes. Yeah. So the one that came to mind was just, it could be that O wouldn't be so hard. I wonder if O would be so hard driven. O seems a kind of character, like a Spike Spiegel. Already knows what that is. I'm not sure Nate does, but more or less, kind of like a Gambit is kind of like Spike Spiegel in some ways. It's just that he kind of laissez-faire. I feel like they might have a little bit of back and forth on whether or not this happened in this episode, and Dan would be saying, I'm right. I know I'm right. And Noah would say, okay, sure, whatever. And and then they part ways. Dan would go and look it up, or she'd watch it on her phone or whatever, and she'd see it, and she'd know that she's like, oh yeah, he actually is right. The thing is, kind of wouldn't seem like he'd care. And then, of course, they're on the competition when that exact moment of question's given, and she kind of like rolls her eyes, like, okay, I know you have it. And he's kind of like, then he looks, like you said, he looks at her and says the wrong thing and gets buzzed or gets slimed or what have you and walks away. And she's like, and she's pissed. Like, she's like, why would you do that? She's pissed off at him. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, that works. I like that. Yeah, that's really good. That's really good. Okay.
Yeah, and I think that also drives a little bit, that kind of pushes a little bit more of the, why did you do this? Why did you walk away? This was something, whatever. And that's an extra little and O is able to turn around and basically say, you realize I did it because I love you, right? And that takes her off her feet, and she's just like,
well, she can't, but I think it's more going with the. I know it's a trope that you guys are trying to stay away from. Even though we're doing a rom-com, you guys are trying to stay away from the rom-com tropes. One trope that happens in rom-coms, as Nate mentioned last time, is where the person the audience wants the lead to end up with will leave for a while in the scene. It's kind of more dramatic, has dramatic flair if O walks off with slime or whatever else go on top of him. If he just walks off, doesn't look back at her, there's no kind of like, yeah, I did this for you, I love you. He just walks off, and she looks at him and that's it. Almost unceremoniously, is just kind of walks off, leaves the stage.
Oh,
But,
fully. I am 100% in it for the drama. The drama.
Mhm.
I love it.
Yeah, because
Oh,
it has to seem unselfish. That's the thing. It's the first, because it seems clear to the audience. Oh, he did this for her. She doesn't
Yeah.
realize that yet. She's infuriated. She's like, "What?" And for her, because she likes perfection too. She's a perfectionist, so she knows that he messed up, and she can't fathom what's going on. So
Right.
she's infuriated about this. We see it as, oh, that's a noble person doing a noble thing. She sees it as someone. She literally can't process what's happening, and it pisses her off. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think that's a really good way to kind of amp that up. So that way, when there is when the confrontation does happen a little later, it's charged. Like it's,
Yes.
it's, and there's more, and there's more juice behind her because
Right.
while it, while not having that, it still works, but for me, it didn't have enough oomph for her to be that pissed at him. Like, I think it would just be more just sad and just be like, why did you do this?
Right.
Where with
Yeah.
this, it's like a big old middle finger to her because she's not
Right.
understanding exactly
She
what's
can't
happening.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because in a way, we've already established that she has never had or been truly in love with someone, never truly had that feeling. So these feelings she's having, she doesn't understand them. And also, apparently, did catch on to what he was feeling earlier. He got it. He's a few steps ahead of her. So it's like, I'm cool with this. I'm fine. I'm not searching my feelings in my heart, trying to make sense of things. I understand it, so I have no problem doing this. And so later on, when she
Right.
does confront him, and once it clicks, once all he has to say is, I found something I do care about. I thought I do care about. Then it kind of clicks in her brain. They make out or what have you. And then it all.
I'm sorry.
There's
What
some
have
heavy,
you. They don't have to. But
there's
No,
some
no,
heavy
no, it's
petting,
just so-
and then they move on.
It was just so
they
out of the blue.
shake hands.
Yes.
They shake hands.
Yes.
They have
So
a nice tea time.
Tea time. Yes.
They're
So they-
British,
so they-
apparently. Yeah.
They kiss. There's heavy petting. They shake hands. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay,
I love how heavy petting is before
Heavy
shaking
petting.
hands.
That's
Yeah, heavy petting.
heavy, not just petting, but heavy petting. That's it.
Heavy petting. Oh yeah, come on.
Right.
This is a rom-com. Come on.
PG-13. We're pushing it.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, yes. So okay, so I think I'm trying to think what other parts of the story do we really need to tie up at this point? Because we've got the thing, we've got the motivation, we've got the back and forth. The only thing I think we've kind of missed with the tropes is there's always the like group of doddering friends or those silly friends that are bouncing around.
Mhm.
Like, do we think that they exist, or are we just
Yes, they're the judgmental choir, essentially. Yes. Now, part of it is the idea that I think we mentioned last time that they were naysayers, like they were trying to tell her, because seems so naive in her hope that spending this day with this celebrity, with Red, would change her life and she'd fall in love with him or her, whatever. We called him Aragorn before, but Red, she was certain that it was this guy that she likes a lot, and they hit it off. And they were kind of saying, no, that's unlikely. You've been trying to sway her out of it. So now it would be interesting if, when she does win the prize, when she is out on the day with Red, has all these things, if they're like, well, congratulations, I can't believe it, you were right. If they're all trying to tell her that she should pretty much, they're championing her being with this person. And when she's like, I don't know if I can do this, and she's trying to walk away, they're like, what are you doing? You're crazy. You're going to pass all this up? They could be a reverse conscience for her. They're pretty much trying to convince her not to be with and they're almost pointing out all the things. Yeah.
Well, I was gonna say, I like that idea, but I think there's something that happened, and it's not in every rom-com that they do this, but it does happen sometimes, and I always kind of like it. Is when you mentioned reverse conscience, but I like the devil and the angel, where there's one friend who is all about it, is all about like, you need to yes, this is this is the way you need to go, and the other friend is like, are you crazy? And I think it would be interesting. I'm not sure where they would land in the beginning. I think maybe in the beginning they both think she's crazy. Like, yeah, this person isn't going to fall in love with you. What are you talking about? But then when things start happening, and when she meets the one friend is like, what the hell are you chasing after Red for? You should go after this piece because he's a tasty piece of cheese. And the other one is
Tasty
like,
piece of cheese.
go, continue after Red because, it's working out. Might as well condo. And then, and kind of have that where she has the two. So they're like, that's one way to do it.
I love that. Except with one slight change, one slight variance. What if it's a friend or a family member, like her sister or somebody that's doing this to her, and a parent that's kind of that's kind of the angel. Her sister or sibling or what have you, or friend, is pretty much saying, it seems more likely to be a family member because they really know her, they're really involved in her life. It's very much like, is a hard naysayer and is championing the Red at the end, but her mom or her dad, who's kind of like a mentor figure to her, is one that's more supportive. And it's kind of like, even at the beginning, was like, well, if you're going to try this, give it your all. And even showed that when she was growing up, the father or the mother was the one that was kind of training them, helping them with all these kind of things. So now later on, they know their drive. They're able to do all these physical things as well. And at the end, when we see the character, when we see Dam on this long day of doing these kind of things, we have it where the dad or the mom shows up, and it's like, yeah, you seem, I see you on this date. She doesn't actually, they don't deliberately tell them to leave Red. But just in the conversation she's having with them, she kind of like realizes that Red isn't right for her, and she leaves. She storms off, and she goes to go see and then she kind of confronts him on this kind of thing. So it's kind of having, like you said, the devil and angel, but just kind of changing it as they're family members that are involved with it as opposed to friends.
I really like that idea, and I wonder if we could, if I could tweak it back. I shall tweak your tweak. And have it be, I like the idea of having, the sister being one way and then having a parent. But I think if we include both parents and have it be, and this is the angle my brain went, the mother being the opposite of whatever the other one is. So the mother being the angel to the devil or the devil to the angel. Sure. But the dad being, I just want you to be happy.
That's what I thought
care
too.
less.
That's what I thought too.
And I think that would be a really sweet moment.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, that's right. I saw a dad too, but I was like, I wonder. I don't know if that seemed too cliche, that the supportive daddy, but that's my first thought was dad too. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I think especially because we're purposely subverting some tropes, and we're also using non-traditional characters and character types and identities. I think having that, while it seems cliche in a normal situation, I think it actually would be nice here. It would be nice to just have parents who are like, and even the mother's like, oh, I think you should do this, but I really just want you to be happy. But I'm a mom, and I'm gonna do mom things. And the dad's just like, I just want you to be happy. I don't
because we don't have to make them cartoon characters. We don't have to make the mom unrealistic. It's like she could be like in the beginning, she's like coming from the point of logic, like what you are doing. The mom seems most logical. She's verbalizing her logic. What you are doing is crazy. You believe that this person is Aragorn or Red or whatever else. You have no idea. And even if it is that person, do you think that's going to change your life if you get married? It's all logical. And the dad's like, well, you never know. It doesn't hurt to compete. She's trained. It could be fun, that kind of thing. Later on at the end, the mom's like, you're right. You won. You have all this money. Everything's great. And she's like, getting ready to leave. So what are you doing? This is actually what you want. I don't understand. And the mom could literally say, I don't understand. And the mom could be akin to the way, similar to Dam. The mom could be similar to her as far as like, I don't understand what you're doing. How is this possible? And that's kind of the same logic that Dam has had her for so long. And then the father, who is again Jean-Claude Van Damme, based off our lore, because this is Dam Jr. Jean-Claude Van Damme himself is like, in his best Brussels accent, I just want you to be happy. As he's doing a split for some reason. So yeah, that makes sense. It's not over the top. On boxes for some reason. Yeah. So it doesn't have to be all over the top craziness. We're playing or lightly pushing the tropes without necessarily going full head first into them.
Yeah. Yeah, I like that. I just have this vision of a scene where, they meet up with the family, during the day, and the mother is like, "Oh, this is fantastic." And then, like, Red is, because he's hitting it off with her, he's like, "Oh, I better hit it off with the mom so that way, things go well." And so he starts chatting her up and everything and keeping her happy, and they kind of go off. And the dad's like, and then the dad and her have a little, back and forth, and the dad's like, "What's wrong? I can tell this isn't, what's going on." And she, and then she has like this, they think it's this, and then this, and she goes, "What should I do?" And he goes, "Whatever makes you happy. If you think this is going to make you happy, great. If you think going to talk to O is going to make you happy, do that. But just do whatever." It's like, I'm reluctant to say follow your heart, but that's kind of
yeah. And of course, we can be as subtle as we want, or use subtext or metaphor, or any of those kind of things work just fine. Because at this point, the audience is already going to know where her heart is, and of course, the audience will be in tune with the dad, realizing the dad is aware too. So pretty much, the dad doesn't have to convince her of anything. The dad just has to validate the feeling she already has and let her do her own thing. So that's all. That's the role he's playing essentially.
Yeah.
And because there's Jean-Claude Van Damme, we can have him do a whole bunch of stuff. It'd be fun.
Oh yeah, yeah, and then I think at the very, very end we have the Red get with the sister, because
no, that makes sense. We can lean into that. We can have it that the mom is still logical. We can have that the dad is Jean-Claude Van Damme, and the sister is the one that's like the most like crazy over the top like one, and yeah.
What would be hilarious if, like, not going full on that way, but having it be where she leaves, and then it kind of becomes obvious to them and Red, and they're for some reason still with Red when they discover that, oh, she ain't coming back, and the mother goes, "Have you met my other daughter?" I think it would be
of course, yes, yeah, exactly, that works. I like that.
So
I like that.
Well, I think that's a story. I don't know if there's any other things we need to wrap up, loose ends or anything.
Sounds good to me.
There is one thing we have to. So the official button, we have to have it. So if O has been calling Dam Dorothy the whole time, who would you consider in the canon of Golden Girls for O to be? Who would you think that? Who's analogous for O? I have my answer, but I'm pretty sure it's wrong. But
I think it would actually be with the type of character O is.
Say it.
I think I actually think he's a mixture. They are a mixture of Blanche and Sophia, actually.
Yeah. I was going Sophia.
Yeah. Because what I was thinking was I was going to say that O self-identifies as Blanche, but in reality is Sophia. That's how I would categorize that.
Perfect.
And fans of Golden Girls would know exactly what I mean.
Yes, I'm sure they do. There could be a fun thing too, where it's like because they could both be fans of Golden Girls essentially. That's kind of one of the things. And it could have been posed. It could have been posed to Dam earlier by O, as far as like which character do you think I identify with, or who do you see me as? And she's like, I'm not telling. And then at the end, she says, oh, by the way, you identify as Blanche, but you actually are parts of whatever what you just said, basically. And I was like, holy shit, because it's the first time someone actually. Cause it just shows how much they actually are connected.
Yeah, I think that's the way to go with that. Yeah, I think that's good. Awesome.
Cool.
Well, I think that's a story.
I think that's a story.
Hell yeah.
But hell yeah. But no story is complete without Ari as dessert. Whoops, that came out wrong. Very wrong.
Wow.
But I'm fired. I mean, I don't even work here, but I'm fired. What I meant to say was, no episode is complete without Ari's art for dessert. That's a horrible save. So what we have here, I'm guessing this is O, our outcast. Ari?
Yes.
Okay.
On the right, yes.
Awesome. Okay. Nate, how would you if you had to pick an actor that O looks like, who would you say? For our listeners.
So I'm a bad one to pick on with that, because because instead of saying like, oh, that's Steve Snoozlebottom from who is in the amazing Beetleman series, Instead, I'm going to go, that guy who is in The Thing, It was on a couple years ago. You know what I mean?
was.
Yeah,
that's
that guy.
essentially-
It was.
Yeah, that guy.
The first thing that came to my mind was like a young Tom Cruise that has a 5 o'clock shadow. That looks kind of young Tom Cruise's.
Oh
yeah,
no,
a
you
little-
just ruined it.
I know. I
Well,
know. I know you don't want that. But
The worst thing is that I can see it, and now I hate myself.
No, but it's good though because I can sense zero Scientology. So I think it
That's
works.
true.
Really well.
There's nothing scientific about it at all. Yeah. Exactly.
But no, yeah. I for some reason, I don't know why. There's a little bit of Christian Slater in there, a young Christian Slater.
Oh yeah, I can see
that
too.
works. That actually makes a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah. Okay, we'll go with that then. We'll go
It's
with
the
the young
eyebrows.
Christian Slater.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, Christian Slater is also what? Well, at least he's not a Scientologist.
No, he's not. He's a mess. He's a real mess. But he's not a Scientologist. This is actually
Yes.
is a lot. It's very akin to Christian Slater and Heathers. Have you guys ever seen Heathers? It's very
Have
much.
I seen Heathers?
I apologize for the
What a
insult.
question!
Oh wait, I have heard. I've heard of the movie and I've read.
Jesus.
I've read a synopsis of it, but I haven't seen it, but I know of it.
Again, plug in our other podcast, which is called Noobs in Progress, where Nate watches
Add it
movies.
to the list. Add it to the
Yes,
list.
it's done. But we'll show. Don't worry, we'll show Nate in a few minutes here an image of Christian Slater from Heathers and show him how similar this image is to. I think his name is like Jody or something like that. I can't remember his name is, but anyways, yeah. So it's Christian Slater in his prime with Reese Witherspoon first starting out.
I'm trying. There's an actress that looks like that drawing, and I cannot. It's the same. She was
There's
in
a
the
couple.
thing. But yeah. Oh, jeez. I'll think of it. I'll think of it like tomorrow. But,
You will. My the first thought I had was a young Zoe Bell. Zoe Bell is a stunt woman that works with Uma Thurman a lot she was Uma Thurman's stunt woman on Kill Bill. She was in another Quentin Tarantino movie where she was like on top of a car the entire time, basically doing all these crazy stunts. But she's an Australian,
Oh, Death
one of the
Proof?
best. Yeah, Death Proof. Remember her, that actress? When she was younger,
Yeah.
when she was filming Kill Bill, she looked a lot like this because she had a badass look to her, and she's a natural blonde, and she had she was athletic but not like big or anything. So.
I got it. Kaylee Cuoco. Kyoko.
Yeah, I can see that too. I can see that.
Yeah,
I can see
I'm
It is
seeing that in the face.
wild. It is wild because I draw these things like without anybody in mind particularly, but now that you say the names, I can see them.
Yeah, no, it's cool, and we're not trying to throw Ari under the
No,
bus.
it's not. It's not a bad thing. It's very interesting. It's so I'm always very interested in how other people see what, because I am frequently blinded by my own. It's hard to explain. You know, when you can't objectively see your work.
Sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
So
know
it's
it well.
always interesting.
Well, this, I mean,
see how others perceive
I'm
themselves.
impressed. I'm always impressed that you're able to just basically, in a way, create a face out of nothing in your mind.
Yeah.
I can't draw like that. I can't do that kind of stuff. So
It's amazing.
and these are great. These are
fantastic. Yes, and yeah. So I really hope people come and check these out on the videos and stuff because they're just really great work. Love it.
Absolutely.
Love it.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah. Dorothy and Sophia / Blanche.
Yes.
Flash.
Once upon a time, our storytellers gather, bringing with them only a set of dice, a scroll of magical story elements, and a passion to create. Rolling for genre, setting, and character archetype, our storytellers Ethan, Ari, and Nathan weave a tale right before your very eyes. Stay a while and listen while we share our creativity in progress. create